Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. How are you today, sir?
I'm fantastic. Go Pacers.
Apparently, this is probably at least the second time. I'm sure there's been others. I don't wear this Pacers sweatshirt very often.
I know.
But I got the brand new white baseball hat. We got we got one of our new hats. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go white on white today. Let's go. It's navy up top. I got the
Yep.
navy outline. I feel like I got a little. And then Adam walks in the house with a Pacers sweatshirt, and I was like, I'm not taking this off. It's already on. So we're just doing this today.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the Pacers podcast.
Yep.
No, we got some good stuff to go through today, man. We got some good stuff. I unfortunately did not get to finish the 7 hour and 36 minute special of The Legend of Fluffy.
Mhm.
I only hit up like a half hour of it. I got a little carried away, and then thought I'd have time, and I don't have time after practice because we don't get home till 9:30, and that's a half hour. Anyway, so no comedy today. We will rate The Legend of Fluffy on Netflix from Gabriel Iglesias next week.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah. No problem.
But we still have our Mount Rushmore. We still got some other fun stories, some different things going on. And but as always, we've got to start to this podcast with a new, is it new? It's got to be new because if we
I
haven't
think.
eaten it, it's new.
It's gotta be new.
It's got to be. We've eaten 150 different types of Reese's, and Adam shoots me a text, which I'm guessing is going to be better than mine when I thought I found something new that we ate literally like 3 weeks before that. Anyway, what do we got from the Reese's, Adam? What's the newest Reese's we're going to rate? Uh-oh.
Reese's
Whoa.
filled pretzels. Peanut butter filled pretzels.
Oh, boy.
All right. Most
Okay.
of us have had peanut butter filled pretzels, but not Reese's.
Litz's has a good peanut butter filled pretzel. However, you told me make sure I have water. If you eat Utz's peanut butter filled pretzels, bro, you got to have water.
Any peanut butter filled pretzels.
You got to clean the palate.
Yeah.
Clean the palate.
It's so dry.
And you can't use milk. You can't do milk because it's a pretzel.
Okay.
I can't drink milk with a pretzel. So,
Okay.
peanut butter, of course,
Yeah.
but milk, not so much. All right, here we go. Let me get a few of them here. Oh, don't fall. I knew that was falling. I knew it was falling. That's all right. I'm gonna get it.
That's why the dog came down. He knew something was gonna hit the floor.
A little
Chris was
stinker.
singing his dog's praises right before we started recording.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. All right, Adam just threw the first one in. First bite to go.
I apologize to Melinda. I almost called her Melinda Witt.
That's
Melinda
okay. I do it all the time. I only call her Melinda Witt. She worked a Xavier game, and I have to give I have to give names for everybody that works the games to the security people that check people in at the door, and I give them Melinda Witt. I like 2 of the 3 games I've had Melinda Witt written down. I can't help it. She's Melinda Witt.
Mhm.
So
Try not to chew into this microphone,
yeah.
especially with something crunchy.
Oh
like the
boy,
peanut butter.
crunchy and sticky tongue. The what is it called? ASMR
Mm-hmm.
of oh, that'd be bad. All right, so you're almost done. Got the first one in. What are we rating the the Reese's peanut butter filled pretzel?
Let me say that the specific Reese's peanut butter doesn't stand out to me, but the pretzel's different than what I usually taste. I feel like maybe it's a little bit. I don't know if it's a little softer or just a little bit cooked just the right way or something. I like these better than most of the peanut butter filled pretzels, but I can't say that it's the Reese's peanut butter that's making it that way. I don't. Maybe it is in some
I
way.
think Reese's peanut butter is a little sweeter than other ones anyway.
Yeah,
It's got
probably.
I can taste a little bit maybe of the peanut butter, but this pretzel is legit.
It's a good
It's
pretzel.
a good pretzel.
Yeah. And
Is this a Reese's pretzel?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Can I just get Reese's pretzels?
Maybe Johnny Reese is in there just flipping pretzels all day long, or however you cook them. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good pretzel. it's not overdone. I feel like some of the peanut butter filled pretzels, like the pretzel's almost a little overdone.
Yeah, there.
Plus, that's why it's
Hmm.
so dry. But this is good. This is pretty good. Of course,
What
you
are you
don't
rating
have the
this?
chocolate.
Yeah, it's tough, and you got to rate it on the scale.
I mean, you gotta do these chocolate covered.
Oh my God.
Would that be unbelievable?
Yeah, I got a chocolate fountain.
Oh, you do. I dipped pepperoni in it at a New Year's Eve
Yes,
party
you
a
did.
billion years ago.
Yeah. It was either New Year's Eve or
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 Halloween, maybe.
Halloween, one of the two.
Might have been
But
Halloween.
we used to get that thing out all the time, man.
Yeah.
We were always
Uh,
rocking the chocolate.
I
We put
oversaw
out pretzels, we put out everything,
pepperoni.
man. Pepperoni, you gotta dip that pepperoni, bacon, strawberries. By the way, chocolate covered bacon, unbelievable.
Mm. Yeah, I feel like I overserved myself on the fondue set or whatever that's called several times at the old Witt household back in the day.
Oh yeah. It got so he just wanted chocolate. What's left? Oh, it's pepperoni left. Give it to me. Let's go.
Yeah.
My sister she used to use chicken nuggets as a way to get ketchup in her mouth. She wouldn't even take a bite. She just dip it in, suck the ketchup off, put another bite, put it right back in the ketchup, go back at it. She,
Yucky.
yeah, I'll never forget my cousin bought her one time, one time for her birthday, she got a ketchup shirt, a Heinz ketchup shirt, and a giant bottle of Heinz ketchup.
Man.
That and barbecue sauce. She was obsessed.
Mm. Yeah, I like a good barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
Um, all right. Score for the Reese's peanut butter filled pretzels.
I'm gonna go 8-7.
8-7. That's a
Hmm.
nice. Okay.
I mean, it's not like if I'm great, like if I'm tasting this and tasting a big cup Reese's,
Yeah.
it's not even close. They're
Mm.
they're miles away from each
Yeah,
other.
you're right about that. All right,
Man.
I'm gonna go 8-9.
Ooh.
I was kind of
Okay.
pleasantly surprised, so I think I'm
Yeah.
giving a couple extra tenths
It was good.
for that.
It
Yeah.
was good. I wouldn't put it anywhere near. I mean, pretty much if you're getting a big cup of any kind, you're like at a 9.4
You're
minimum.
starting there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
So 8-7 and 8-9 is not bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty good.
Like it. Adam, I gotta talk to you about this, man.
Please, please do.
I know you got a list of stuff that we talked about, but we're sitting here beforehand just kind of talking about everything. My girls had a basketball game this Saturday.
Mhm.
So
Uh, fourth, third,
third grade.
third grade, third grade.
Third grade. Um, so we are playing this team, Fairview Clifton.
Okay.
It's like a German school or something. Like they start taking German in kindergarten and speak German all the way through. It's crazy.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
I feel like it's a very German
Yeah,
word.
very much so.
Kindergarten.
That's just what my wife said somebody looked up and saw. I don't know how any of that works.
Hmm.
So we played this team the second week of the year, and we beat them by one.
Mm.
We had a free throw. We had a free throw. The first one, missed the second one with like 20 seconds to go. They got the rebound, drove it down, had like three wide open shots, missed them all. We won by one. Which is it is what it is. It was like 15-14, right? Like
Yeah. Third grade
there's
basketball.
a lot of missed shots.
Sure.
So since then, we have developed our team into we've developed an actual offense and stuff like that. So I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when I talked to you about the team that had the coach that wore a dress and was jumping up and down all around and everything was just bouncing and moving and flying around and she was screeching so loud that I ended up coaching like at the baseline end of our bench. I couldn't take it. You remember this? The referee of this game at halftime, and I'm not going to say his name
Okay.
because he said he's going to take this to his grave that it didn't happen. But so I guess, depending on who has the ball in the second half, it depends on what side that you get that the ball's thrown in from out of bounds at halftime, right? So depending on which way you're going, you either get it on the far side from the bench or the close side to the
Oh,
bench.
okay. Yeah.
So I guess it was supposed to be their ball at half, and he had the ball, and he walks out and he feels his pocket, and he's like, "Nope," and he walks to the other side of the floor and gives us the ball. Didn't like nobody had. I don't. Nobody's paying. She definitely wasn't paying attention to jump balls. I promise that. So because he said I can't do a whole game on that side of the floor. He told me he's like he's doing this second half on that side of the floor. I'm not doing it. So anyway, that was a crazy game. So we get to play these guys again. They haven't lost a game since they played us second weekend. They
Wow.
they only gave up 10 points like three times. So to me, they don't score a lot either. It's just a very aggressive basketball team.
Okay.
In third grade girls, that's not hard to do. You can
Sure.
take the ball whenever you want it, really.
Yeah.
So we've developed an offense to kind of get some shots going. First off, we walk into this place, and you're in Clifton already. And you walk into this place, and the stands, there's 3 rows of bleachers right behind where like right up against where the bench is.
Mhm.
I hate when the fans are on the same side as the bench.
Yeah.
That's the most annoying. It should never happen. It's terrible. In grade school, whatever, that shouldn't be that way. So anyway, we walk in, we're away. We're red and black. They're yellow and black. In the league, the rules everywhere, it's if you're the home team, you wear your lighter color. If you're the away team, you wear your dark color.
Sure.
Only time we have an issue is against Fairfield because they're white and red. So if we played them at home, we're both wearing red. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Nobody knows how to do this. Like it's getting annoying now. Like it's pretty simple. You're the home team, wear the light color. You're the away team, wear the dark color. But I'm constantly sending my girls because I can see what's going on. I see the other team with the wrong stuff on, and so I was like, I'm not doing it today. Girls take their warm ups off. They got black on. The other team, I saw they've got black on. You know what? We're gonna sit here. We're gonna figure this out. Walk up.
Are your
Oh,
jerseys reversible?
yes,
Sorry to
both. You
interrupt.
have to have in our league. You
Oh.
have to have reversible. Every team's jerseys are reversible.
So you
Every
got one
team's.
jersey. That's it.
Yes, one jersey, one pair of pants,
Okay.
one pair of shorts. Um, she's like, I said, "Oh, you guys are home team. Usually, you guys I think you guys wear light colors." No, no, we're home. We wear black at home. And I just kind of give it the old eye roll, like, "All right, girls, it's a locker room over there. Go put your red on." I go in. So now the game's starting a little bit late. Then she runs to her car for some reason. No idea where. She just left. And the ref's like, "You guys got a game ball?" And this other woman assistant coach looks at me like, "I don't know. What is a game ball?" She didn't know the difference between a practice ball game, which honestly, just grab a ball out of your bag.
The
So
ref will let you know if it's not good enough.
I'm over here like this, and he just looks at me, and I'm like, I got you. And I throw it out, and I turn around, like back to the floor, looking towards our bench, and just my eyes get real big. You know, that real big, not like an eye roll, but just like a, what are we about to get into?
Mhm.
And then I realized the entire stands, all of the fans from both teams are right behind my bench staring at me. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be like the people from the other team are probably like, this dude's a douchebag because he's making fun of us. This is like, and I'm like, whatever. We come out to a fast start. You have to play man. Okay. No half court, nothing, no defense behind the half court.
Yeah.
Have to play man.
Yeah.
We run a little double screen. That's our offense. It's a double screen. Off ball screen, come up from the corner, catch the ball. That person that just set the down screen comes right back up and sets a ball screen. You dribble outside, going for lap.
I think that's a Zoom action.
Is that what they call
I
that?
think so.
Well, I made it up. I thought I
Okay.
made it up because I felt like I felt like this is the only way we're gonna get open. I got to set 5 screens.
You're running an NBA offense. Then you're good.
I mean, if that's an NBA offense, that's way too simple. So anyway, my 2 and 3 go down, set a screen. The 4 and 5 comes up, gets the ball, and then they have to reverse pivot, open up. Screener comes right back up. They drive to the basket. We get a few quick buckets on them. And they're a very aggressive team. So the fact that they're being screened is killing them. We can't run. Usually I let the girls kind of run up and down if they get a rebound, try to run up there, whatever. They take it from us every time. So I'm yelling to slow down every time. There is no running in this game. I'm like, I know who you guys are. We're not running. You're going to take the ball from us every time. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what basketball is at all. She's got three really good athletes that are
No.
just fast and they are aggressive. That's what she has. They can't make a shot to save their lives, but fast and aggressive. So we go and so I say like their offense, every girl was at half court just shouting for the ball running around.
Hmm.
And then somebody would get past us and they score a couple points because our defense sucked all the way out to half court. So I call timeout. And again, things that only the team were supposed to hear sometimes come out of my mouth. And meanwhile, I have family members of the other team sitting right behind me. And I walk and I grab my little whiteboard and I put five X's at half court. And I go, they don't know how to run an offense. Girls, what do we talk about? You don't get sucked all the way up there. You can guard your man 5 feet away from him. Don't run all the way up there with your man. They don't know how to run an offense. Just play regular defense. We're fine.
Hmm.
And I was told that there was a couple parents that kind of giggled from the other team, which I'm glad they were giggles and not something worse. Um, anyway, just absolute insanity. She had six girls on the court four times.
Wow.
They had 13 girls. Two of the girls had numbers that were not on the website. Like you're supposed to make sure everything's updated on the website so teams can get all their stuff written out. No idea where those numbers were. Whatever. I mean, I don't care. I'm not, it is what it is. Holy cow. So she takes her most athletic girl, says, just stand in the paint because we can double team in the paint. Well, my offense is designed to not get into the paint
Yep.
because we don't want to get double teamed, right? You dribble off that screen, take a little jumper from just outside. Holy cow. This girl just stood there. And every time we ran that screen, she just sprinted up and guarded the person that was getting the ball. And she stole a couple. Finally, I was like, she's got to guard somebody to the ref. He's like, yep, we're getting her on the next one. We just had this conversation. Blow the whistle on her. Blow it on her again. Blow it on her again. It's like, come on. Like I know what you're doing. You're just have one person there to jump whatever side the ball is. Sometimes we get a ball inbounded and there's a screener, so it looks like she's guarding her. And when we drive, now there's two people guarding this person again. They gotta stop the game. And it's like, just stop doing that. That's not defense. That's not a defense.
Did you say that you can double in the paint?
When the ball gets in the paint, you can double team
Okay.
in the paint because it's almost impossible not, right? However, if you stay spread out, you got to be man to man. You can't
Gotcha.
double team outside.
Yeah.
We end up winning by one. They came back at the end, and it was just insane. That place was, she's the loudest human being in the world. I have two girls had the same name as those girls, and one girl turned around, looked at her while we're on defense, and walked away from her girl. And the girl just took the ball to the basket. I'm like, because she heard her say, Nora, go to the other side.
Oh,
Anyway, dude, third grade girls rec basketball is one of the most difficult things because I'm trying to still teach these girls how to do something, right?
mhm.
I get it, what it is. I know what it is. Maybe I'm wrong for trying to help them actually learn how to play basketball, but my God, dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Hmm.
That's the most annoying woman. She's the nicest lady in the world. Super sweet, very nice, incredibly loud, and the
She wearing a dress this time?
no, thank God she had jeans and a long sleeve shirt. She holding herself together. That stuff, everything was bouncing around, man. She's jumping up and down. Everybody's like, that woman should not wear a dress on sideline. Anyway, what a game, dude. And then
Wow.
at the end of the game, dude comes running up to me. He's like, yo, what's up, baby? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up? And I was like, hey, and I ran over, dab him up. He's like, we gonna get together. We gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm like, sounds good. I love it. Yeah, it's good to see you again. I walk away. I looked at assistant coach and I was like, I cannot remember how I know him. I know him. I
Oh,
don't know how I know him.
I thought it was just some guy that thought he knew
No,
you
no,
as
I
the
actually knew this
coach.
dude. Because I saw him out of the corner of my eye. He was walking over towards me, and I jumped up and walked over to him. And he's like, "What's up?" And I can't figure out where I know this dude from. It's killing me. I don't know where I know him from,
Huh. Yeah, that's a
but he's definitely not gonna get. We're not gonna get together because he doesn't have my number. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have my number. I don't think so. At least I don't know. Maybe he does,
You're
dude.
gonna get a text from a number that you don't have stored in your phone.
Yeah, Dude, that girls basketball is it's tough. Tough,
Very
bro.
difficult.
Tough.
Very difficult.
And
I feel like you're doing more than probably most of the third grade coaches. I would think.
hmm, I mean, I probably, but I don't know, dude. Oh God.
Yeah.
They just say and then they just like half of them just give it the ball to one girl and just say, go do your thing.
Hmm.
And
You have a clear best player.
uh honestly, no. I have one girl that I trust to bring the ball up.
Yeah.
I got
That's
couple other
huge
girls that can,
advantage.
but my offense can start because you can't guard me past half court. I start my screens before she gets to half court.
Hmm.
My biggest problem is every once in a while she'll pick the ball up, and then all of a sudden that girl that she was going to pass it to is not open,
Hmm.
and she gets stuck in the backcourt.
Yeah.
That that hurts us. So we've been working the last couple of weeks. Keep your dribble going until you pass it. Do not pick it up unless because if both of them are guarded after the first screen, our next offense is for her to penetrate.
Yeah.
Is that's the next step in the offense.
Hmm.
So you can't pick your dribble up. Stop picking your dribble up. But like I've got probably four girls that if they get the ball underneath, I feel pretty confident. Feel pretty good about when they shoot.
Good.
There's only one girl that hasn't scored on our team, and she's rimmed out too. So this I'm hoping it happens Saturday. But then we got the tournament. Then we got a game Saturday, and then we got a tournament. It's like, oh my God, basketball's never gonna end. I
All
know
right.
that you never want basketball to end, but I'm ready
That's
for
right.
basketball to end.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I'm ready for baseball.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well,
Sorry, that took a long
good
time,
luck.
and that's gonna
No,
be an annoying story, but most people could care less. But dude,
that's funny.
it's rough.
I yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would just be annoyed, I guess, by the lady
So
the whole
annoyed.
time.
Yeah, so annoyed.
Yeah.
So annoyed.
Frustrated that people aren't,
Yep.
people are running to their cars as the game's
What
starting
are you
and
doing?
yeah. Also, why didn't the officials take charge of the uniform situation?
Come on,
I
man.
mean,
Come on, man. Those two officials, they had one thing and one thing in mind only. Get
picture.
that game over with, get their money, and go.
Yeah.
One girl ref actually was upset with me. She walks over. I call timeout, and the guy ref comes over and he goes, "Hey, she said if your girls don't start throwing the ball in right after there's a basket, she's just gonna leave it there and start counting." And I was like, I just called timeout and I need to talk to these people. Like I don't care. Whatever. Have her count. Nobody can guard them. It's not going to take them 5 seconds for me to say, "Hey, go throw it in, step out and throw it in." I don't give a crap if she does that. If she wants to be big bad person in third grade rec and be upset because the girl starts sprinting to the other end of the court, then that's on her. Whatever.
Oh, I see.
So yeah,
Okay.
if they would make a basket or if the ball went out of bounds, we didn't immediately have somebody throwing the ball in. Even though I told the girls, if you're the two, you're supposed to throw the ball in.
Hmm.
Anyway, yeah, those refs didn't care about nothing. Is that too much? I'm not giving them too much. That's not too much. If
No,
you're the two, throw the ball in.
no. Yeah.
You know what position when you go in every time they go in the game, they ask me, what number is so and so? What number is so and so? You're the two, you're the three, you're the four.
Hmm.
Boom, go get it.
There you go. There you go.
I don't
Yeah, I gotta make it out to one of these third grade games. That was my very first
We play
coaching.
at Delhi multi-purpose in a couple weeks.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
open already?
Huh?
Wait, Delhi
The
multi-purpose.
multi-purpose gym. Sorry, it's actually Delhi Middle School's cafeteria,
Oh,
but it's got two basketball hoops in it. So when you go play in it, it's like slick as all get out. You just slide all over the place because it's never taken care. And if it snowed, the fans walk right along the floor, so there's just salt and dust everywhere. It's impossible to stop on. It's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's elementary school basketball, I guess. Um, okay, we continue on with basketball because this past weekend, the was All-Star weekend in the NBA.
Pretty much a lot like the game, like my third grade girls all-star game. Yeah.
Okay. So we now I think you messaged me Saturday night after all the, dunk contest, 3-point contest, skills challenge. Um and you had some stuff you wanted to talk about.
Well, I first off, First off, we need to talk about the dunk contest.
Okay.
Number one, the dunk contest can't be the final show. It's got to stop ending the show. It's not exciting.
Hmm.
It's if Matt McClung were not in it, it would have been the worst part of the entire night.
Yeah.
To watch everybody miss four dunks and then do a regular dunk at the end, I don't need that. Matt McClung made, I'm pretty sure he first dunked every single time and they were all
Yeah.
ridiculous. That dude's got insane hops. Number two, he's not in the NBA.
Yeah.
Why is he there? He's in the G League, right? Why is he there?
Hmm.
I get it. They need him. They need him,
Hmm.
or no one would be watching. The 3-point competition is by far the best.
Yeah.
It needs to be last.
Yeah.
The skills competition is actually pretty good too. It should be set. I think the dunk contest should probably be first. It's terrible. Terrible.
I'm thinking, oh, you know what? No, that's not even I was gonna say maybe they do that because that's the only thing that's not timed, but it is
It
timed.
is
You
timed.
have, yeah,
Yeah.
you only have a certain amount of time
Yeah.
to get your dunk off. Okay. Um, yeah, that one's feels dragged out more.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't know. But I agree with you.
It's so
It's like that
bad.
every year too. And
It
this was a good dunk contest compared to a lot of
it
years.
was. I'll give you that. I can't do the dunk contest. We need dunkers we need the best dunkers in the game to do the dunk contest.
Yeah,
I
we just
can't
don't.
I
They're not incentivized enough for something. I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but it's got to stop. It
Mhm.
can't happen anymore. I like when Zach Levine was in even Zach Levine wasn't even in well, he may not have been an all-star those first couple times he was in it, but he was
Yeah.
a great dunker. They put him in. Aaron Gordon, same thing.
Mhm.
That was one of the greatest dunk competitions ever. Those dudes were insane. At least they were in the NBA.
Yeah.
Still weren't all-stars, but they were in the NBA.
I may have said this last year when we were talking about this. I would be I think it would almost be better to get like the best dunkers in the world
Oh yeah, they've got
not in the NBA.
there's a dunk league. There's like
Yeah.
a league out there where these great insane dunkers do this stuff.
There are yeah.
That would be awesome to
Yep.
get them there.
There are guys that are Jordan Kilgannon. I know his name because he is famous for being one of the best dunkers
Yes.
in the world. And he's never played
No.
in the G League even.
No.
It's but
But he's got mad hops.
and
He
there
can
are
do crazy stuff.
yes, and there are guys. Now the kid from Chicago was trying to do a dunk that was going to be really cool, but
Oh
he
my
missed
God.
it for
Like 4 times.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then and so the luster of it gets taken away because it's like okay, he just did it 4 or 5 times.
And then once they do it, it's like, well, when they miss, sometimes they miss it, and I'm like, oh, good God, let's go.
Yeah.
But when it takes you 4 more times, now it's no longer fun for me watching
Yes.
anymore.
100%.
That's why Matt McClung hitting him on the first try every time is so impressive.
Yes. Yeah. That does make his now he's probably elevated to the second best dunker in those contests ever, I think.
Behind Carter,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd put it. I mean,
And I mean, he's won 3 in a row. Vince Carter didn't win 3 in a row too. So
yeah, but Vince
he's got
Carter
that.
was dunking against the best athletes in the NBA back then. He's like there was better athletes dunking at that time. You don't have the
Maybe.
best athletes dunking right now. Don't get me wrong, Matt McClung is doing stupid stuff that he's that good. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. Stephon Castle was pretty good too.
Stephon Castle was good. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
Stephon
yeah.
Castle's an actual MVP though, or not MVP, All Star. Like he's a legit All Star. Well,
Well,
he's on the Rising Stars
right.
thing, which is the next step thing we're going to talk about
Yes.
after this.
Yeah.
Um. So all right, so we both agree with that.
Yeah.
The 3-point competition has to be the final. There's usually at least two really good great guys that you know that's in it. There's usually at least
Mhm.
two. And as long as like Dame's in it and guys like that, I'm good. I'm good. I need one. I need somebody. I need a Steph. I need a Dame. I need a Harden. I don't know. Give me some big 3-point shooter in it. I need somebody.
Yes.
As long as that continues to happen, I love it. That's the best part of the night.
Yep.
The dunk competition is so bad. You need guys like LeBron that are going to like think about LeBron in his heyday. I mean, that
Oh.
dude, he was, his head was above the rim. And I've always said power dunkers are what make the dunk competition to me. The Dwight Howards, the and I consider Vince Carter a power dunker. He's like a combination of a finesse and power.
Hmm.
Like when he would get up, he threw down.
Hmm.
It wasn't just like a oh, and then he slid his hand, barely touched the rim, and it goes in. No, he jumped up and threw his whole arm in the rim and punched through it. Like that is the effect that you need when you do it dunk.
Yeah.
I need it to be like 360 windmill and then hang on that rim for a second. Like you dunk that thing.
Yeah, it's way more visually appealing for sure.
Then when these guys just because then even then when they just barely make a dunk,
Hmm.
even though it's stupid impossible,
Hmm.
it doesn't look that cool because it looks like they barely made it.
Yes.
And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You did something crazy. I agree, but that's not a dunk. Like you will see a dunk in a game. That's a dude jumping up and just throwing down on somebody or posterizing, whatever you call it. That is what I love about the dunk competition.
How embarrassed do you think Blake Griffin was after that dunk competition? Because he jumped over the front. He jumped over the bumper of a car.
Jumped over sideways, part of the car
Mac
that
Mac
where
McClung jumped over
and
the entire car and the guy sticking out of it.
and 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 the car was sideways,
Uh-huh.
right? Number one, and more than half of it was under the basket.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even he didn't really do yeah. What Matt McClung did was insane.
Hmm. It was Blake's was a cool idea.
Yep. And
Um,
Matt took that idea and said, I got you, bro.
yeah.
When he jumped, who did he jump over? Who had the ball? Who was holding the ball above their head?
I think it was just some guy. I don't.
Dude was huge. I thought
Oh,
it wasn't Shaq.
the guy that was coming up out of the sunroof of the
No,
car.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no, no, no,
oh,
no,
okay,
no, no.
okay.
It was towards the end of the it was I think it was in the last round. Whoever it was like a 6'10", 7 foot. It was a big tall guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever it was, I can't remember.
Yeah.
You see a lot of times where they like kind of boost off of them when
Mhm.
they do that. He grabbed the ball and was already above the guy when he grabbed it. Like there was no pushing down. You can usually see that push down. He grabbed the ball and just came straight up.
Yeah.
That to me is insane.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yep. He he definitely helped the dunk contest a lot this year and really the last 3 years.
And how's he
Um,
not getting play in the NBA? He was the leading scorer in the G League last year. Like, how's
yeah.
this dude still in the G League?
He's been up a few times,
Has he?
but he just doesn't. He had it was last year or the year before. Um, he came up and played a little bit with Orlando, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure why he. I mean, think about that. He can actually play. He's not just a dunker.
No,
He can play.
dude can legit play. He's leading the G League in scoring last year.
Bronny James is on the Lakers bench. Sorry.
Sometimes it's about who you know, babe.
No, it's not
Sometimes it's
even.
just about who you know.
I
You
can't
got
even. I don't even know
how many thousands of points do you have?
when he's up. Yeah, when he's up or down. When he's in the G League or on the Lakers, until like
Social media
yesterday.
comes out.
Yesterday I saw
The
this
step back
morning.
three? Did you see
This
the step
morning
back three?
No,
Oh.
this morning I saw a highlight from the Lakers game last night, and LeBron had this incredible dunk, and they flashed over to the bench where Bronny James was sitting. That's the only reason I knew he was up right now. But yes, yeah. So let's go into.
I want to know your take on the new setup for the actual All-Star game.
Let me say this first. I like a lot that they're trying different things because it's always bad. The All-Star game is just not the basketball one is the one I'll probably always watch just because it's the basketball one. I'll still see all the guys there. Um, and baseball's better because you can't. It's harder
You
to
can't ease up
you
like you can
yeah.
in the NBA or the NFL.
It's much harder to do that.
You
Right.
got to go.
Yeah. So um, but football has been really bad for a long time. That's why they're playing flag now, and they're almost where they need to figure out some version of flag basketball, like whatever that version is for basketball. They might as well just start doing it because I was hoping this would this tournament would make it a little more competitive. I don't know how it was going to, but I was hoping, and it didn't.
Mm,
I don't
well,
think it did.
I think they played harder defense
Do you?
than I've ever seen them play in the NBA or in the All-Star game. I thought they definitely played harder. Not like, don't get me wrong, they weren't like locking down, but there was times where you could tell they kind of locked down a little bit. They played a little bit harder defense. Definitely played harder defense than a normal All-Star game. I will say that. Number one,
At the end of the games, if they were close.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah. However, you watch an All-Star game to watch the All-Stars.
Mhm.
That was like, I don't agree with a lot of things Draymond Green says.
Yeah.
I loved when this came out and I was like, I kind of like this. Yeah. And I watched it. I was like, they're playing a little bit harder defense every now and then when the game was close towards the end and they were getting to that 40 mark. And I was like, that's it. That like there were guys like Sengun. I love that guy.
Mhm.
Did he touch the court?
Uh,
I don't think he
yeah,
played, did he?
he was out there. I remember him scoring once.
I don't even remember him
Um,
being on the court.
yeah, I don't think he was out there much though.
I mean, these teams had what, 8 players on each team or six, 7 players, 7 or 8
I think it
players.
was 7. Yeah.
That and the starting five played 90% of the minutes.
Hmm.
You didn't get to see half the people. That was and the breaks were
I know.
forever.
Yeah.
You didn't even watch a full game. Like the amount of games that were played was not a full game worth of basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of
And there were guys in it that didn't belong. Though
right.
that Rising Stars, I love that's really cool. But they used to do a Rising Stars game the day before. Do it the day before, like you used to do it. That's cool.
Well, they did that, and that's how those guys got because the winner of that tournament got into.
Oh, is that how they did that?
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
But they shouldn't be playing on Sunday with the
No,
NBA All Stars.
no, you
Yeah.
should not.
Yeah.
That's what I hated. The lack of exposure that these guys get. And Draymond was talking about like going after point records and all that stuff. I don't care about that. It's
In
an
the All Star
all-star
game,
game.
no.
I don't care about that.
Mm,
That is what it is.
cares about that.
Whatever. However, I would just like to watch them play. I would like to get to see the All-Stars play.
Yeah.
And for Wemby to only be out there for one game, or was it Jokic was out there for one game? Whatever team was only out there for one game.
Yeah.
Who played
I think it
the
was Wemby, maybe.
Yeah, did he play the OGs first?
So was he on Kenny's team? Because Chuck
I
and
can't
Chuck and
remember.
Shaq's team played each other in the finals,
Right.
and Candace's team was the Rising Stars. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Had to be on
if he
Kenny's
lost
team. Yeah.
first, yeah, it had to be on them.
Just God, it sucks. Like you get to see some of these dudes for like a couple minutes and that was it.
Yeah. And that was the last couple minutes you're gonna see Wemby because breaks my heart.
What
But
happened? I didn't hear.
you didn't hear
Oh
that?
man, what tell me
Out for
no.
the year. Wemby's out for the year. Crushed my soul.
He's 2 years away from being uh like back to back to back MVP of this league.
Possibly. He's everybody's defensive player of the year so
I
far
mean,
this
he's
year.
got he averages like 8 blocks a game or something. It's like it's not it's an exaggeration, but it's like 4.5. It's
It's
stupid.
he's well above whoever's second. Um so yeah, very very disappointed. I was watching the Spurs before I left and they were crushing the Suns, but without Wemby,
And they got, but the good thing. So is he definitely out for the year? Like, there's no chance even for the playoffs.
no chance.
Because with Darren Fox over there now,
I know.
it's like, hey, bud, you got Stephen Castle, you got Darren Fox, you got Wemby, you got a little
Chris
squad
Paul,
coming
yeah.
in, Paul.
You actually have a point guard.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Darren Fox can run a two, can run the two a little bit more. And when you need to speed the game up, you have a point guard that can't. You have another point guard that can actually get up and down the court. No offense, Chris Paul, but
Sure.
he doesn't move like that anymore. And Darren Fox gets up and down the court. He's the fastest guy with the ball in his hands in the whole NBA.
Chris Paul also got he and Wemby disqualified from the skills challenge on Saturday
I
night.
didn't see the
Did
skills
you see
challenge.
that?
No, I missed the skills
So,
challenge.
so Chris Paul is known as one of the smartest basketball guys in probably ever in the NBA, and everybody knows him as that. And so I think he came up with some scheme to like cheat the system to win this thing. So like there were two spots where they go to a rack of balls during the skills thing,
Mhm.
and you have to shoot each ball. And I think like you have three balls on the first rack, and you shoot until you make one, and then you go to the second rack, you shoot until you make one. He had those he and Wemby both go up and just take the ball and just like throw all three of them off, go to the next one, go throw all three of them off, just like get them off the rack.
So they're like a shot. Like you just missed it.
Yeah.
You either make one or you get three shots and move on. So they just chucked them off as
So
fast as they
to
could.
to get the fastest time,
Hmm.
that's what they did. And then after they went, I think maybe somebody else went, and then they went to the commercial and they came back, and then it was the
Disqualified.
weird. Yeah, they're just sitting on the bench like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was a weird thing. So a lot of people dislike Chris Paul because he does stuff like that. But yes, so he was trying to
Fans.
he was
It's
trying
for
to,
the fans.
but
Shoot the ball.
he's also like one of those guys that everybody says he's the most competitive guy in the league.
Yeah.
And that's also why people don't like him, because he does things to get under
Hmm.
people's skin and all that. So yeah, he was trying to outsmart everybody, and it came back to bite him. But anyway, but I love him right now because he's on Spurs.
Yes.
Um, so anyway, yeah, bad news for Wemby. He played in the All-Star game, got back, had his shoulder checked out, and he has a blood clot in his shoulder.
Oh,
Can't say
wow.
same kind of thing as like Chris Bosh,
Hmm.
but they're saying, they think he'll be out definitely the rest of the season. They think he'll be good to start the next
How
season
does that
fine.
work? They can't like you just gotta let that thing pass somehow, right? It's gotta like
Well, he said they treat it with blood thinners,
yeah,
and that's
because
the
it's got
problem.
the
You
clot.
can't.
Yeah, and but because the clot's got to go
Yeah,
through.
yeah. I guess you just take blood thinners until it clears itself or something. I guess I don't know.
So if it clears quicker, can he come back?
Yeah, probably. I would guess, but they like the report is he's out for the year without a doubt.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's insane.
very disappointing.
That sucks. It's
But
not even an injury.
it's
Like he didn't
yeah,
even get injured.
yeah. I don't know how those things
That
happen. Like
sucks.
you hear about those things happening to people who are like, um,
They're running marathons and they have a
oh yeah, I was gonna say people who are like
oh
immobile, like people who are
yeah.
just
If
sit
you're
or lay all the
like
time.
people have to wear those things on their legs when they're on flights because they're sitting for so long. They got to have the
Circulation thing.
circulator thing so they
Yeah,
don't get blood clots. Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
But that's I
I was
mean
thinking like
for
an aneurysm where the blood clot kills somebody. But
oh
never mind.
yeah. But yeah, like the top professional, it happened to Serena Williams had one on her lungs. And then she came back and like won more
Hmm.
tournaments and stuff after that. And so it's weird. But then it ended Chris Bosh's career. So I don't know. It's very strange.
Hmm.
But it sounds like they're not too worried about it, but it's just going to take a while, they say.
That's crazy, man. That sucks.
I know.
I hate to hear that.
So I don't know what the answer is for going forward. I don't know if they're going to try this again next year. I kind of have a feeling they won't, but uh, I don't know. I
No,
don't know what to
there's
do.
no way they do this next year.
Yeah. I almost feel like
This format can't work. They could probably do this, but it's got to be more of a round robin
mm,
kind of thing. Like you need to play you need to have four. You can have four teams, but number one, they're all stars. That's number one. Number two is, and then they all of them play each other, right? How many games? That's actually comes out to a lot of games. But you can play to 30 maybe or whatever you do, but they each play each other, and then the top two teams can play each other.
yeah.
But there's too many breaks. They said there's a
Yeah.
break at the 15 and the 30-point mark, and then they were taking a break at the 28. And I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
And then the breaks were long, and then they'd come back and do the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life in between.
Yeah.
Like although I will say Mr. Beast giving away 100 grand was pretty cool.
That was
He needed to get away like that. Did you see who was it that like walked up to him and like back? I think it was Dame when it was getting close. Dame like walked up was like, man, let him shoot, dude. Like just let him go because he
yeah.
kept talking to him.
Yeah.
Dame pushed him back like, let him go, let him go.
For a guy who makes his living as like the most famous, I didn't know who he was until like the last couple months, and he's been like,
Seriously?
yeah,
Well,
like I've heard, but
all my nephews, that's Mr. Beast is huge. Yeah.
I don't, and I still can't figure out why. I guess he just gives away money to people or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how you start I don't know how you start a YouTube thing like that where you're just giving away money and then you become the most famous person on the internet. Um, but I just saw him at least for the first time like in the last month. He's got food in grocery stores
Oh
and
yeah, he's
like
got everything.
I'm like, what?
He's got a Beast Games. It's like Squid Games on Netflix. He's got a TV show where they play Beast Games.
Good for that guy. I mean,
And to be honest, like the stuff he does is pretty cool, right? He
really,
gives people, he's always giving away stuff and doing. It's pretty cool with like random people, and
yeah.
they got to do crazy challenges to get it sometimes.
Mm.
But and then like even if you don't win, he still gives you like 5 Gs or whatever, like appreciate you coming.
Wow.
Uh, but no, it was like he was getting a little over the top, and then all of a sudden it was
Yeah.
like all of a sudden he gets one more shot. Like you said that he gets to shoot until Dame makes two or makes three. He's got to make one before Dame makes three. Now all of a sudden Dame's only made one, and you're telling him he's got to make now he only gets one more shot, or he's got 10 seconds. I think it was he said you got 30. Oh, we got 30 seconds because they had to go to
Oh,
commercial.
yeah, commercial, yeah.
He's like, we got 30 seconds. Like, whoa, that wasn't part of the plan. He gets to shoot till Dame makes three.
Well, it was because Mr. Beast was going on and
And he
on and
wouldn't
on.
shut up and get out of the way.
Yeah, it took
When Dame pushed him back,
yeah,
I was like, get him, bud. Get him out of there.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is like for this guy to like be super super famous, he was almost seemed like he didn't know what to do.
He
Like he
didn't
like
because
he
even after he made it, he kept trying to talk and like jump in there. And it's like,
yeah.
get away.
They
And
tried
he's
to
like,
make
hey,
that a thing.
Kenny, come here and give him some.
Yeah,
And
nobody would
nobody,
come
they're
out.
like, we don't want to
That
come.
was
What do you,
embarrassing.
that was super embarrassing. And Kenny walks out and I'll do it. All right, here's the deal. Shoot it, get here, visualize it going and through the strings or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my
That was part of the
God.
problem too.
That was
Shaq,
terrible.
Shaq did because he wanted Shaq to come out. Shaq,
Yes.
I guess, just was like,
Shaq
no.
was- Another thing, did you see the trophy presentation at the end of the game? Did you watch any of that? The
Um,
MVP trophy presentation and all that?
I feel like I had it on. I don't know if I was.
So Kevin Hart's out there doing all these things. So Kevin Hart was drinking. Like I saw him
Oh,
at least one time where they panned by that middle table and he had two red solo cups in front of him. And he was drinking that one.
sure.
He was some of it was kind of funny in between games, but at the end they turned his mic off. Like he was like
Oh, I
he
didn't.
like tried to take a picture when they were all holding like the team was holding the trophy and all that, and then Stephen and he's like trying to jump in there and he's got his trophy that they gave him or whatever, and Shaq's in the background going, "Kev, quit it, come here." He's going like
Oh, I
this, and you
didn't
can
know
see him
that.
in the background telling him to come here, come here, and he's kind of giggling while he's doing it, but he's like telling like Kevin, and then one time Kevin goes up to talk his microphone was off because he was talking over top of people and just saying
Oh,
random weird things and it was like, oh man, they shouldn't let that dude get it at the end. He was good in the
yeah,
beginning and through the
yeah.
middle. There were some pretty good things, but he needed at the end yeah, they were trying to get him out of the picture.
He's
Like
been,
get out.
yeah, he's been heavily involved in All-Star Weekend for a long time now,
Yeah.
and he's been really funny in the past. But it was like
He made
they made.
fun of the basketball players for not knowing how to talk into a microphone or whatever.
Uh,
Did you hear him before the games would start?
I don't remember honestly.
He's like they had Stephen Castle there and whoever Shaq's like they're like what do you think about the game? He goes we're gonna go out here, we're gonna play as hard as we can, and he's like you can tell you've never talked into a microphone before, and I'm like I don't okay, that wasn't that good, Kev.
Yeah. I I mean they made him like the host, but he wasn't really also. Like he was kind of just in and out, it felt like. So I don't know. Maybe they
And I
just,
love Kevin Hart.
yeah, me too. He's very funny, but I maybe they just tried to force him in there because he's been part
I think
a
some of
big
it
part of
he
the trip.
tried to force himself into. I'm telling you that
Well,
you
yeah, I mean,
go back and watch the trophy presentation.
sure. I'm sure it was all just trying to be funny, but it sounds like it was a repeat of when the Eagles won 4 years ago or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
he he couldn't he was super drunk and tried to get on stage and they
They
wouldn't let
wouldn't
him.
let him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was legit. Steph's holding it up. He's trying to jump in with his trophy and take the main picture with the guy that handed the trophy to Steph.
Oh,
He's trying to jump in and get in that picture.
yeah.
And Shaq's in the background. Hey, quit, come here, come here. And then he lifts up his hand and goes to say something, and the microphone's not on. And then he looks. I think he looked at whoever was on the team, and he probably said something like, "Man, they shut my mic off" or something like that, because somebody just started dying laughing right next to him after he did it.
Yeah. There's there's too much. I was thinking about this while I was watching that. There's too much extra stuff. They drag the
Yeah,
whole weekend
too
out way too
much.
much, the whole entire weekend,
Yeah.
everything they do. But also, it's supposed to be a huge deal, especially in these cities where they are. So you can't like you have to do a lot of things to make it as big a deal for the people that are there.
That's
But
cool.
also,
But they want to be there for the
there's too
game, though.
much.
They're there for the game.
Yeah.
Why are we doing all of this stuff
Mhm.
for 25 minutes in between games?
I don't need Leangelo Ball to come out and do his song. It seems like everybody likes it, but I don't need that. Um,
Whoa, whoa.
I
That's the
still
only
don't even
part I know.
I still don't even know it
Jabba,
because
give
I
it a
I think
blow.
I walked I think I walked out and did something else while he
Give it,
was
give
doing
it
it.
a no. Whoa,
Yeah. I
whoa.
hear a lot of people were saying
Give
like,
it,
"Whoa, this is
whoa.
pretty good."
I've
But
listened, so I
I don't
listened
know.
to it because the boys on the team, one boy on the team walks in, and I brought a speaker in because when we have baseball indoors, I like to have music. There's always music on, right? So I've got a playlist. It's my baseball playlist. It's a
Mhm.
lot of like my old school rap and a lot of their rap and different stuff. Clean version. If I can find a clean version, I'll put it on because
Oh, it's
they
not
are
just
still 11
put
and
me
12.
in, coach. I'm ready to
No,
play.
it's not. I don't get none of that on there, man. Because I got to get hyped.
Yeah.
When I'm in the cage, dude, I need to be hyped too. But I always find the clean versions because I know that they all do and hear and all that stuff. It is what it is. But I like to make sure that if I'm also
You got to do that.
doing the
Yeah.
right thing.
Yeah.
Some dude comes in and he said something about I'm Leanne. He said I'm Jello, and I said what? Who's Jello? He's like Tweaker. That's Jello's new song.
Mhm.
And I was like, who is Jello? Like, I try to stay kind of up with the new artists, right? I don't like a lot of it, but I try to stay up with the names. And he said, yeah, Jello. And one of the kids said, it's Lonzo Ball's brother. Or he said LaMelo Ball's brother, either way, because all the kids love LaMelo.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Leangelo? His name's not Jello.
That's what he
It's
goes
Leangelo.
by.
And I'm like, okay, all right. He's got a song called Tweaker. And I'm like, man, that don't sound like a song y'all should be listening to
Right.
be honest. And holy cow, old boy drops like they probably shouldn't be listening
Is it
to
bad?
it. Yeah. But it's in the very beginning, it's da 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 da. Whoa, whoa, da 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 da. Give me some more. And that little flow right there is kind of catchy. Like that little flow right in that part is pretty catchy. And that's what everybody does. It's kind of like that Kendrick Lamar when everybody goes, play a chord straight A minor when everybody, it's like, whoa, whoa, or that
Yeah.
um anyway.
Yeah. Um,
I don't know how we got off subject that way.
yeah. Oh, but
Typical.
that reminds me that I saw on a couple different places, so I think it might be real. Uh, LeVar Ball,
Yeah, lost his foot.
foot amputated.
Yeah, foot
Yeah.
amputated. Nobody knows why. They're not releasing why.
Yeah, I didn't see why either.
It's a couple reasons, man. He's either got gout or he's got the diabetes,
Yeah.
right? Walter Brimley probably got him a little touch of that
Wilford, yeah.
diabetes. What did I say? Walter?
Walter.
Wilford? Whatever.
Eh,
Eh,
Walter's probably short for Wilford or something. I don't know.
probably. There's probably. Uh,
Wilf.
if you've got
Diabetes.
diabetes, diabetes.
Yeah, that's one of those things that Wilford Brimley was in some movie and not the Natural, but some other movie because that's the only movie I've ever seen him in. Um, and there's like a thing on the internet and he looks like he's 68 years old in that movie.
And he's like
Wilford
35.
Brimley's 31 in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
man, like,
he's just that dude that all has been old looking his whole life.
yeah, it's the old Sparky Anderson, man.
Yes. Sparky Anderson played 2 years in the big leagues, and his second year looked like he was 40.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I always accredit that to a lot of Marlboro Reds.
Yeah, sure.
It's usually
It
what that's
must be.
credited to.
Must be.
It's usually what that's credited to.
We transitioned very well to baseball because I'll tell you what, Mount Rushmore of whatever you want to call it, unique, crazy, weird, funny, goofy batting stances.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All
I
right,
can't wait to see what you got on that.
I first off, so we always do the searches, right? You always search
Sure.
different things to try to find people that. Did you find any good websites that gave you something?
Not really. This was one I felt like for both of us, especially for you, I'm sure, that you're like, okay, there are like six of them that pop in my head almost right away.
Sure.
And that, but you want to do the search just to make sure you're not there. And there was one that I found that I was like, oh yeah, I don't
Did
remember his.
did you?
Yeah.
Cool. Good. Okay.
Now he's not on my, I didn't put him in my top four,
Okay.
but I put him on my list of possibilities. Um, so anyway, that was the only thing. I found one guy that I was like, oh, okay, I can see why that's funny. Um,
All right. Well, let's
but
hear.
anyway, yeah.
Get to them. Let's hear them.
All right.
I'm excited to hear where you go. I've got my little list that I went through um pulled up, so I want to hear what you said compared to what I've got here.
First guy I've got, guy I loved, Jeff Bagwell.
Without it, that's great batting stance.
I mean, he's, it's basically his wing, his leg wingspan.
As
I mean,
wide
he's
as you can possibly get.
yes.
Legit as wide as you could possibly
He's
get.
he's doing the splits up there.
Yes.
And it's crazy that and I know, usually power guys have a little bit wider stances, but it was so wide. I'm like that. I feel like that's you're gonna have less power
Yeah.
because you have no room to stride. Like he has to put his foot up and down, and instead of like striding into it and really like shifting his weight or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I I'm like he was just a big, strong, really strong dude, and that's why he hit so many home runs. But that stance was crazy.
He still had a lot of, believe it or not, he had a lot of weight transfer from that back foot through.
Yeah,
So
I'm
like
sure he knew
the
how to.
leg tap and I mean it was just a toe tap, but he still had a lot of lower body movement that was able to happen.
And he had all the lower body you need to hit for the power that he did.
Yes.
Anyway, I always thought that it was comically wide his stance. Craig Counsell, I
I
have to
mean,
put him on
who
there.
doesn't have counsel?
I
Craig Counsell's got to be number one for almost
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, I'm fine with him number one. Reach for the stars. I mean, he
How high can you possibly get your hands to go?
he was trying to touch the sun with the end of his bat.
Legit is high. How high? So to me, we talk about in baseball when I'm trying to teach a kid something fundamentally or whatever, we talk about over exaggerating in drills.
Mhm.
Over exaggerating. So when you get into game speed, you'll shorten everything up or do things slightly different. Like here's the deal. In your load, you are not getting your hands high enough. They're not getting to your shoulder. You're not getting whatever. So your hands are too low, and then everything's starting too low. Like so we'll over exaggerate. All right. Let's get when we go to load for today, we are gonna we'll start wherever, but when we get back into our load, I want to get up to your ear
Mhm.
instead of your shoulder. I want to get up to your ear. I want to do this. I want to do that. Just little stupid things. If you've got a hitch, right? All right, we're going to start with your hands low in order to keep them from going low after you come. So you can only go up.
Mhm.
Over exaggerate things. Get your butt as low as you can. Spread your legs even wider. Get even wider base. Do things over exaggerate. When you get into the game, you'll speed up and everything will be normal. Craig Counsell legit took it into the game. Somebody was like, dude, just get your hands as high as you can. You're not getting your hands up. Your hands are way too low. You've got to get your hands higher. Get your hands higher. You can't do it. You got And so my man takes his hands and puts them foot above his head
Yeah.
and pushes away as high. He pushes them up as he goes.
That had to be
It was so much that his front foot kept coming up off the ground the whole time. It just
yeah,
bounces off the ground because he can't get high enough.
yeah. Yeah. That had to be like where he was struggling, and then whatever coach told him to exaggerate that in batting
He was
practice,
like, "That's
he
it.
he did that one time, and he ripped eight line drives to like
Yeah.
left center,
Yep.
and he's like, "Whoa, that worked."
All right, this is what we're doing, bub. This is how this is gonna go."
All right, Craig Counsell's on there. I'm going with Tony Batista.
Okay.
Tony
Yep.
Batista had that. I mean, his foot was almost outside the foul line. His left foot or his like front foot. I mean, the most open stance. Now he would. It was weird because his bottom half was so open and his top half wasn't really like his
Right.
top half was. I mean, he was like folded opposite kind of, and but I mean, just such a long way to go that I
Yeah.
guess he probably came forward as the guys he timed it right. But yeah, maybe that might have been another one of those you got to exaggerate. Like maybe he's like way too. Maybe he was originally way too far in or something. I don't
Yep.
know, but
So guys like him. So I'm trying to think because um, now that you say that, I now that you talk about him, I probably would love to have who was the guy that would be completely wide open and be staring
yeah,
at the pitcher. But a lot of
yeah,
people like they say, you can see the ball better if you have two eyes on it, right? You see
yeah.
everything better. So as you close, it holds your head open. You're actually seeing it instead of getting turned. And they had said that they would open up that much in order to get better vision. Now you have to be able to close and stay closed because it's hard to start open and not open too early.
Mhm.
So that's an incredibly difficult stance to.
Yeah, I
Who
felt like
was
there
that?
was somebody else too that I
Not
was trying
Tony
to think of.
Fernandez, but God, I can't
Yeah,
remember who
I
that
know.
was.
I know. But anyway, Tony Batista, and then if you find that other guy who I was trying to think of too, I'd probably throw him on there. But my last
Here
guy,
he is. This is it right here. That's the stance where he just stares right at you. He's facing the pitcher.
that looks like Miguel Tejada.
It does
That's
kind
not
of, but
him
it's not him.
though. Anyway, my last guy I've got is I can't wait to talk to you about this. Guy that played his college ball here in Cincinnati, Kevin Youkilis had was the only guy that I've seen. Now, there are probably guys that have a little miniature space in between their hands or something, but he started like 6 inches apart in his stance.
Maybe more than that.
Maybe more than
And it
that.
wasn't even a closed hand.
He's like
He's got
he's
his
got it in
it's
his
like three
fingertips.
fingertips on the bat.
He's got it like
Yes,
the weirdest thing, and he was a really good hitter for a while.
absolutely.
And I've never seen anything else like that before. And it's so strange because no coach would ever teach you to
Tony
have your hand.
Bautista is the one that I was thinking of.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's the guy who you were talking
I
about.
was I was
That's
thinking
that wide open stand. Tony Bautista, isn't that what you said?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
with
was
that.
thinking there was somebody else though that did that too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I mean his at least his hips were what and maybe he even started his stand and then like as the guys come in then
Well,
he
yeah, he's still low.
goes
You
in
still
and
get
then
into
still yeah.
every if you watch anybody that hits a baseball, the way you start, everybody can be different.
Yeah.
But if you look at everybody when they get to their load position, which has become like the name of what they all call into that load, everybody's in the same place.
Mhm.
Everybody. Like it don't matter how you start, what you do when you bam, you're all here. You're here. Every person is there. Without the best hitters are
Yeah.
in the same place. And then everything from there goes through. All that extra stuff in the beginning is helping you get to the correct point. So
Mhm.
everything gets there. It pulls you, whether it's like a Gary Sheffield or whatever, or an Eric Davis with the hands low,
Mhm.
or Joe Morgan with the flappy chicken wing, right?
Yep.
Like all those things are designed to make sure you get to this point, and everybody's at this point, and then goes to the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. So including Kevin Youkilis, I'm sure. He
Yeah,
starts with his hand
somehow.
one hand on the top. He might as well have held the bat on the ends,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
dragged him down.
Yep.
Yes. So those are my four: Tony Batista, Craig Counsell, Jeff Bagwell, and Kevin Youkilis.
I like it. I like it. So I've got a few here that um little different. I don't know who my top ones are
Mhm.
necessarily. Um, but Craig Counsell, Kevin Euclid. are for sure on mine. Cal Ripken Jr. had like 13 different batting stances in his career.
Oh,
And one of my favorites was for a year or however long, he would get up to the plate and he'd hold the bat completely horizontal. It was totally horizontal and his hands were back behind him. And I never understood that in any way, shape, or form. I get you need to get your barrel to the right position. That's too much. That's
he's like,
still I
I'm
don't
just
even
gonna
understand.
start there. I'm
But
just
that's the
going
thing though.
completely.
Like that you're not gonna hit any like you're just a slap hitter at that point in time. You're just throwing your hands through. That's not how anybody hits.
Yeah.
So that to me is an insane one. The Tony Bautista's good. Um, Gary Sheffield,
Yeah.
the Gary Sheffield bat, and so the cool thing is going through this and listening to people talk about the stories on why,
Yeah.
right? So Sheffield's like, my hands were too fast. I was too fast.
Yep.
I had my hands were incredibly too fast, and I had a guy in the minor leagues that said, get your timing to where when you would normally get back to load, you're throwing your bat forward and then you're loading. So it's a split second difference
Just to help your timing. Yeah.
just to help your timing to slow yourself down.
Mhm.
So all that quick crap that he did was actually there to slow him down.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are the things. That's what I love about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like in Joe Morgan with the elbow, right? That elbow, right? That's stay connected, stay connected, stay connected, stay connected, right? Boom, 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 stay connected. You get out, fly open. Don't fly, stay connected, stay connected, stay connected. That's all. I mean, I'm sure that's not exactly what he was saying, but that's basically what that is.
Yeah.
So I think I have Kevin Euclid and I have Craig Counsell. There's two people for sure. The Tony Bautista one is really good. It's a good one.
So unique.
So unique. Bagwell was good. The you know who else had one was Pete Rose.
Yeah.
It's just that crouched, weird, crouchy, just flip the ball around, whatever you got to do. Um, Definitely Pete Rose had a different kind of batting stance. Ichiro's batting stance was different just because we had never seen it before. Nobody understood it. And if you really look into like using every bit of your body, the Japanese had it way before anybody else.
Mhm.
Like using every bit of your body is incredible. There are so many Japanese like going through and they do all these statistical analysis of, making sure that you're balanced and all these things that are important. But that's starting with that leg up and going, waiting, 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 and then like to get all your body momentum coming forward, as long as you can stop, stay without getting out on your front foot, and stay level or balanced, and then but to get all that going and that the force from the ground that you are using to generate in that swing is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, like, but that was the first time we had ever seen anything like that.
I can watch videos of Ichiro hitting all day long. I love watching that guy hit.
And it hit it anywhere.
Yeah.
Hit it anywhere. Like,
And
you're like, there's no way he's pulling a ball. Oh no. No, he's going to pull a ball 380 feet.
what was even more amazing to me is it always looked like he was drag hitting. Like he was already halfway to first base when he was swinging, and he could hit outside pitches and take him down the opposite field. And like, how you can't look
Just a
like your
slap hitter.
whole
Like, you
body
just look like a
is.
slap hitter.
Yeah,
But because he's really not. It just feels that
yeah.
way. Because
It
he's,
just looked that way.
yeah.
Oh God,
But
it's
it's
just so
all
fun to
this
watch.
body momentum and everything. It's so incredible.
Yeah.
Man, I've been really getting into this stuff with a hitting coach guy that's been helping our team. And there's so many things. Like, when you find somebody and you're like, oh my God, you're opening my eyes to something totally different
Yeah,
in the sport that I love. And
yeah,
it's like, I could sit here, we could talk about this all day. And legit, that's what we do. We talk on the phone, we text, call, like, I'm like, I can't do this yet. Cause I'll go up and he'll be like, go up there, get up, like you're hitting. I get he's like, yep. I bet you were just a little base hit hitter, weren't you? And I was like, yeah, I was. He's like, you got no, and he's talking, and I'm like, but what about your weight distribution? You get out. He said, we don't get on your front foot. Why are you get what? Yes, we want
yeah.
to move forward. Anyway, this is all gibberish. right now because it feels gibberish coming out of my mouth, but I love that stuff.
I know it, and I know exactly how you feel because I know that the like the science of hitting and all that stuff. I'm sure I feel like you probably feel that same way. I was watching a video the other day. It was yesterday, I think it was just yesterday. Um, um, Cam Johnson and Duncan Robinson were on a podcast together, and they talked for like 10 minutes about shooting
Yeah.
and all the different kinds of things like your body movement and
Yeah.
when you're coming off a screen or when you're going hard one way and what you have to do with your hand position and your footwork when you're catching and the defender's bearing down on you and what you have to do and different types of shots and how field goal percentages, like the what you when you use that to help you, and when you find holes in it where you're like, well, but every shot is a little bit different, so it's not field goal percentages in a perfect way to. And they
Yeah.
just went into this thing for 10 minutes, and I was like, this is. I feel like they're like pouring chocolate on me
Yes.
as they're it's
Yeah.
just like this is the
This is
best
the best
thing.
thing in the world.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be that way with the hitting stuff.
Yeah. And I'm not even the hitting guy, right? Like, because my thing is like watching the guys. I joke around all the time because my thing is fielding. Like that's
Mhm.
I also think I'm a pretty good coach because I know what I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't try to act like I know everything.
sure.
I know what I don't know. I don't know hitting that well. I'm really learning that I really don't know hitting as well as I thought I did. I 100% don't know pitching. You can forget that. I know the game of baseball. I understand the strategy of baseball. I understand the ins and outs of baseball. That I love. I love every bit of baseball.
Yeah.
But I can correct and I feel like my strong suit is I can do anything with somebody fielding a baseball.
Hmm.
I can make you a better fielder. I can do that. I know that's where I'm at.
Okay, Wash.
Right. So that's my thing. So to watch him go through, like, we run pick progressions before practices based off of Ron Washington.
Yeah.
Everything is based off Ron Washington. And to listen to him talk about him and then like my kids are getting to be 12 years old now. So like we've been doing it for a few years and they don't really understand. I know they don't know why we're doing the things we're doing and I'm telling them to do things specifically, fingers down and all this other stuff. And they're just doing it because coaches tell them to do it. But now I can like explain how it transfers. Like we're on our knees with no glove and I got to come through the ball. It doesn't even make sense. Well, yeah, but here's the deal. If you're fielding a ground ball and you're on your feet, now you're actually coming through that hop,
Hmm.
right? It's like it transfers in. So to hear him, or like I joke around. So for the last like 3 or 4 years, I've been watching this guy for Baltimore. I don't know if he's their infield coach or what he is, but he's amazing. And he does a lot of work with first basemen and I love it, love it. So I'm constantly telling my first baseman is when there's a ball in the dirt, you get down there, catch it with your face,
Hmm.
catch it with your face, and like you ain't that pretty, catch it with your face. Well, here's the point: is if you catch it with your face and you put your glove where your face, you're going to catch the ball,
Yeah.
right? Like you're going to catch that. Get low. If it's a low pitch, if it's low, get on its level. Get low, catch it with your face. So I love telling, like, that's my favorite thing to say. And I just had an assistant coach send me a video and he's like, it said, catch it with your face, ha ha ha. And it was one of the videos of that. And I was like,
Uh,
now you know where I got it.
I think I've seen that
Yeah,
video.
I love that. I absolutely love it. But all those, like, especially the Ron Washington stuff with pick progressions and all that, absolutely love it. Just different things about feel like we run a drill in baseball. It's so simple, but it's like if you're charging a ball coming through the ball. And a lot of people, me and my cousin Eric, who's great baseball guy, right?
Mhm.
Played college baseball. We kind of we were talking a couple years ago about how he doesn't like how they're teaching kids to field the ball on the side of their body instead of fielding in front. And I'm like, whoa, bro, let's talk about this for a second because that you're not understanding what's going on here, right? This is about coming through the ball. So yeah, you're fielding that ball on your left foot, but you're not fielding it on your left foot. Your momentum is coming through the baseball towards first base. So you're not catching a ball, stopping, turning, throwing. You're slightly rounding it coming through it as you field and your body momentum's going towards first base. It's a split second faster. But when you field that ball on your left foot, when you actually field it, if it takes a bad hop, it's going to hit you in the chest.
Mhm.
If you try to come through the baseball towards first base on a ball hitting towards you, and you field it in front of you and it takes a bad hop, your body momentum is going towards first. That ball takes a hop, it's going to hit and go past you. That's why we can talk about fielding the ball there. That's actually fielding it in front of you. So like I love that because I'm like, oh, hold up, big dog, hold on now.
Yeah.
This is my world. This is my world. I love this. That you're gonna get me all. I got up. I'm standing. I'm like getting excited. I'm like, play like this. Listen to me.
I've seen it.
You know what I
I've seen it
mean?
100 times in my
Yes.
life.
Yes, I love it. And that's me. But I'm also smart enough to know that I don't know hitting. And I
Yeah.
don't I know hitting, but I don't know hitting.
But it's fun to get into the details of it with.
But I know enough of it, right? I
Yeah,
know
right,
enough
right.
about it to where it's like my all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Two things I was thinking about when you were saying that. So with the thing with Eric, there have been plenty of things in basketball over the years, like you know, coaching evolves and
Oh,
things change a lot. And so what most people learn in basketball for some things, like just shooting, just say shooting, there are certain things where you you have the fundamentals that most people are taught, and then you'll find like an NBA shooting coach or something that, and you'll see a video and he'll say something like, this isn't one of them, but he'll say something like, "No, you actually want your elbow out a little bit, or
mhm.
like, you want your feet like, uh,
Not square,
yeah,
whatever.
not
Yeah.
something like that." It's those aren't real examples, but it's something like that where you're like, what are you talking about?
I've
And then
learned
they'll
this my
go
whole
through
life.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll say like, this is why. And sometimes you're like, wow, that's incredible. Yeah,
Hmm.
okay, I see that. And then you start, and then sometimes you're like, I feel like sometimes I've seen stuff like that and I'm like, okay, that would work for some people, not for other people. So
So
it is really weird.
that's my problem with YouTube. Because YouTube, anybody can make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Anybody you just need a cage behind you, a net, and a tee, and you can make it sound like you're doing everything insane.
Yeah.
I can't. I got an assistant coach that sends me videos constantly, and some of them I'll turn around. I'm like, oh, I actually do like that.
Mhm.
But this is, and or I'll say, I like that, but that's basically what we already do with this drill, and the kids know this drill, so we'll continue with this. But sometimes there's some ones, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that. I
Mhm.
actually want to try that. I want to see how this works. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes I'm like, nope, this isn't working the way I want it to. So we just did a drill for no reason. But sometimes you got to waste 20 minutes
Sure.
to figure out it doesn't work. But man, I'll tell you what, I got the then there's the ones that you get sent to you, and you're like, did you think about this before you sent this to me? Yeah, what that guy's doing with three T's lined up, and you say inside, and he hits the inside T, outside, and he hits the outside, middle, and like I get it. That looks really crazy, and you got three T's set up, and they're in different locations. What about bat path and bat plane? Like, watch this kid swing. He's purposely doing different things not to hit the other ball. That's not like I can't wrap my head around that. No, like you didn't think about this.
Yeah.
We didn't think about this because that's just a gimmick. That's a trick. That's a kid. That's a guy that found out that he could do a funny trick
Yeah.
and put it on there like he's like, yeah, I'm teaching my kids this. Good. Go ahead and do it. So they can hit the ball one time when it's in one zone. They can't be late. They can't be early. They have to be perfect timing. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
There are two things that you just reminded me of. So one of the things I was gonna say before is when I go to post this podcast on YouTube, I log into your YouTube account. So I see your algorithm and it's always baseball drills, specific kinds of baseball bats. Like it's always that stuff. I'm like, oh, I love that. That's so cool. And then and the other thing was there is at least one guy I think that I've probably seen the most that's on either YouTube or TikTok or something like that. and he does like makes fun of all those
Oh,
baseball videos,
so funny.
like
There's a couple of those guys. Yeah.
throwing garbage cans at him, and he's got to duck and swing or something like that.
And
Yeah.
he's got one foot on like like a ball. He's got to
Yeah.
keep his balance on a ball, and his other foot's in the air, and they're throwing crap at him, and he's got to hit a ball off a
Yeah.
tee. And, see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are
Stay
good.
inside the ball. Stay inside the ball.
Yeah. Anyway, those are
That
two things that
you
remind
ever
me
you ever come across though when you're coaching kids and you're saying something like you're saying that just reminded me of this. You're telling them something that you've heard a million times and they're, 10, 11, 12, 13, even into high school, whatever. And maybe they haven't ever heard it, but you don't know. You're just, it's right, hey, make sure you keep your hands inside the ball. Keep your hands inside the ball, right? You're getting extended. Keep your hands inside the ball. And you turn around and you're like, I need to start asking these guys if they know what I'm talking about.
that.
So, because kids will just say, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And they just go.
Because
So,
some of them are afraid to say, I don't
yeah.
understand.
So, this year in hitting, when we're doing cage, when we're hitting in the cage, I've done a lot of, I'll say something and I'll turn around and go, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand why I'm saying that? And they kind of look, and I'm like, tell me, no, it's okay. You're not wrong or right. There's nothing bad. There's no wrong answer. But I wanted to make, I don't want you to just say yes to say yes. Explain to me what I mean by that.
Hmm.
And it's like, and then all of a sudden they almost kind of feel embarrassed, which I get because it's put them on a spot, but it's also like, this is the point.
Yeah.
You need to tell me. So and they're like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like staying inside the baseball doesn't have a specific meaning to, oh my God, here's the baseball. I gotta be, yeah, it does. It's just like stay connected, stay connected. Don't get it. Yeah. It's the crazy thing. I think about those things all the time. How many times have I been talking to these kids and they say yes and have zero idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I talk about it, setting your tee, and we've had a big thing about putting tee work is so important. You learn how to hit off a tee.
Hmm.
Every Major League Baseball player hits probably 100 balls off a tee before they ever even think about going into a live cage.
Hmm.
However, that doesn't mean put a ball on a tee, hit it. Put a ball on a tee, hit it. You have a specific thing. So we have a specific thing, a rotation we go through inside or outside, up the middle, different things we do. So I'm like, guys, when you're hitting an outside pitch, it's got to get deeper in the zone and to hit it out there. So we set the tee here. Make sure and that's constantly put the tee where it should be. Put the tee where it should be. If you're hitting a ball up the middle and the tee is back in your stance, you're over rotating. You're opening up too fast. It might seem like you're killing it because you're hitting it right up the middle into a net, but that's a bad swing. You should be hitting it right out in front of your front foot. Blah, blah, blah. And then you turn around and they're all like, yep, yep, yep. And you turn around and you're like, you go out there and look, and they've got the ball and they've got the tee in front of the plate on the outside half. And, and they're hitting the ball the other way. And you're like, this is not even a little bit of what I said to do. And I get that that can be overheads and it's me talking because I'm seeing it in my head, but it's like those little things, so like, tell me you don't know.
Hmm.
Don't just say you know because you think you know, because you don't.
Yeah. That specific thing you're talking about, like putting the tee on different spots on the plate and stuff like that. There's a specific Tony Gwynn video that I watch at least once a year, and he's doing exactly that. He's explaining all of that. Like,
Mhm.
I put the tee here because I want to drive this ball this way,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I just watch that because I just
Mhm.
love to watch Tony Gwynn talk about that stuff.
Yep. Hands to the ball. His hands to the ball. That was Tony Gwynn's whole thing. Hands to the ball. Hands to the ball. Hands to the ball. Barrel follow. Barrel follow. Let the
Yeah.
barrel follow. Tony Gwynn. That dude, like Greg Maddox and Tony Gwynn have some of the funnest stats you'll ever read in your life. Stupid stats.
It's my favorite thing
Like,
on the internet
yeah,
is those two guys.
like the San Francisco Giants struck out uh 587 times in 1996. Tony Gwynn struck out 110 times in his 25-year career. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah. Tony Gwynn against the five greatest statistical pitchers of all time hit 389
Yeah.
and
It's just like contact percentages. Like his contact percentage was 96%. He struck out 10 times in a season. What? He struck out looking. Tony Gwynn, I think there's a stat. Tony Gwynn struck out looking like less than 30 times.
He has more 4 or 5 hit games than multiple strikeout
That's
games. I mean,
insane. That's crazy. And those are the crazy stats you hear about guys like Greg Maddux. And then and you got to try to bring that down to kids' perspectives and go, Tony Gwynn didn't hit home runs.
yeah.
Right. So it's also good contact. I tell the kids all the time, one of the I don't look at your batting average. When I'm making lineups and doing all this and I'm trying to figure out who's where right now, I don't ever look at batting average.
Yeah.
Batting average doesn't tell me anything, especially at 11 and 12 years old. It doesn't tell me a thing.
Yeah.
Line drive percentage, contact percentage, how often you're making contact when you go up to the plate, how all those things mean something to me. Strikeout looking, strikeout swinging, how many times are you like those are all things that means on base percentage. All these things mean something to me. Batting average doesn't mean a lick of anything. You could just be a little bit bigger and hit a harder ground ball. That
Yep.
but this kid's hitting 15 line drives and making contact 90% of the time he's up to bat. He's going to make something happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Fly ball percentage. If your fly ball percentage is high, then you're not making you can't be in. You're not moving runners over. You're not doing anything. You're doing nothing.
Yeah.
I love all that stuff, dude.
I
I
know
could do that all day. Someday I got to get my dude Josh in here and we can have a podcast of talking baseball. And then you get to have because you'll get to have a basketball guy come in too. Because dude, it gets like he gets over my head sometimes and I'm like, oh my God, how am I losing this? And it's so much fun. We'll have lunch and that's all we'll do for an hour and a half.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Absolutely. But I love baseball and you love basketball. So that's it. Did I ever give my full
Oh, I
four?
don't,
Um, I don't know that I did.
I don't think you did.
Euclid Council. I'm gonna go with that specific Ripken stance
Okay.
with the horizontal bat. And then I'm gonna go Sheffield. I think Sheffield, I love the Sheffield stance specifically for the reason he does.
Yeah.
Like for the story behind it.
That was fun.
Because he's the cockiest dude in the entire world. And he's like, I've got my hands are too fast. I'm too fast. I'm too good.
Yeah.
No, actually, you have bad timing. That's what that is. To be honest, it's not that your hands are too fast. You have bad timing. That's what you have. So, like, I love, but he realized he needed to do something about it. So he figured it out.
We have mentioned every guy that I had also on this list. Do we say Julio Franco though? I can't remember if we talked about him or not.
Oh, yeah.
You
Julio
know,
Franco was
pointing the bat
fantastic. Pointing,
at
yeah.
the pitcher basically.
Yeah.
But the one that I was talking about that I didn't remember until I saw it on a list, Mickey Tettleton.
Oh,
Mickey Tettleton stood up there like he wasn't even batting.
yep.
He just stood straight up basically and
Look right at you.
just kind of held the bat right here on his shoulder and then could hit.
So
Could
that's a
hit
big
up
thing
some
of
power,
what.
too.
So this guy that's been helping me, that's a big thing for him. He's like, don't get up there and squat down and get on. Why? Just get up there and stand up there. Just stand up there, just loose, be ready. As soon as he goes through his motion, now you go through yours. Why be tense and do all these things before he get? And I was always like, stay loose, right? Like so, it's like a little wobble. This he goes, whoa, too much body movement.
Yeah.
Too much body movement. Why are you moving your body so much? Now you've got to time your body and your swing to him. No, that's too much. Makes sense. 11 and 12-year-olds, they don't need to do that. Stand there, don't move, hold your hands, be ready. And when it gets to that point, get straight to where you need to be and go get that ball. People always used to talk when we were kids about your head movement. Keep your head perfectly still, like when you swing. Ken Griffey Jr.'s head moved 6 inches.
I know. I'm thinking about my batting stance as a kid. It was like I'm like I wanted it to look exactly like Barry Larkin, so like that was picture perfect to me.
Yeah.
And like my hands were as back as like my elbow was as high as it could be, and my hands were as back, and I'm like I'm like looking at the picture like,
Yeah. It hurts.
it
It
hurts to
hurts.
hold it back here.
You're so
Like,
tense.
come on,
You're
come
so
on,
tense.
man,
You're never gonna hit a ball.
I'm squatting the whole time too while I'm doing this.
Never gonna hit a ball.
Yeah.
So that's my like at when I started coaching when Parker was 8, or well, when I started coaching him when he was 4.
When he
And
was born, you were
no,
starting
no.
saying,
Actual coaching baseball, he was 4 or 5
but
years
in the
old.
house.
I think he was 4, but we put him. He played with the 5-year-olds because my nephew was older, so he started playing. Um, and he was potty trained, so that was all that mattered.
Yeah.
He had to pee, go over in the woods. But I'll never forget walking up and like, okay, I'm gonna be the coach. I'm 100. Like, there was no question. I signed up immediately to be a coach, and I had friends that came to be the assistant. Like, I knew some of the people that were the other people that were the assistant, and I was like, if I hear anybody tell a kid to get his elbow up, I swear to God, I might knock somebody out. Don't say get your elbow up. Let's figure out what he's doing before we just immediately say that. Yes, there is a lot of time where that's where you need to get. But there's a lot of kids that get here and get immediately out here, and you've lost all your power. You have nothing now. So maybe not get your elbow up. Maybe you've got it a little bit tighter, and that keeps you connected longer. Like, I know they're only 4, 5, and 6 years old, but there's no reason to say these crazy things that don't help just because you heard it when you were 8 years old.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that it's right. That was also a dad that never played anything. I didn't play anything. I never played anything. I love this game.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Those are just a dad. They needed somebody to coach a team, and it was the guy who was off early enough to be able to get to
Yeah.
baseball practice.
Yeah.
Right? Get your elbow up. Get your elbow up. Get your elbow up and keep driving balls 5 feet in front of you into the ground. Yes, do that. That's great. Fantastic.
When I was a kid, my batting stance didn't really matter because all of the bats, no matter what, were too heavy for me.
Way too big. That happened. That still happens to this day, and it's way more personalized and everything. And it still happens to this day.
I
Kid will
was
walk
just
in.
so weak. It didn't matter. I could use the lightest bat I could find on the team. It was still too
I
heavy
got
for
I
me.
got a couple kids on the team now where like they'll come in with a brand new $400 bat and they'll take some cuts. And I remember looking at the one guy, this one of my coaches, and he's throwing front toss to him, and I turn around because that's what I'm also bad about that. I'll yell across practice when I see something, whoa, whoa, and I'll almost calling coaches out too
Yeah.
because they're not doing what I told you. You're not teaching them what I told you to teach them. But I'll be like, whoa, oh my God, does it look like he's just dragging his bat? You know what that means? It's way too big for him. Hey, where's your old bat? Well, I just got this. I don't care if you just got it. Do you want to hit? Go get your old bat that you were hitting really good with.
Yeah.
Bring it back over here and hit some line drives. That'll be great next year.
Yeah.
Don't use it right now. Stop. Like, kid, come on. Told one kid, do me a favor. Choke up on. He's struggling. It's front toss. You can't struggle in front toss. You should be able to hit. Choke up a little bit. I don't like choking up. When first off, when a kid talks back to me when I say something, remember I told you about how I just stare at a kid and I don't say anything. I just look at them. I didn't ask you to choke up. I told you to choke up.
Yeah.
And you stare at him and he's like, he puts his head down, whatever, a little huff and puff, and he chokes up on the bat and rips 8 straight balls that hit the cage right in front of me, like scaring me. He's hitting them so hard. And I'm like, if you go up to bat with that bat and you don't choke up, I'll walk onto the field and take it out of your hands and put a different one in your
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We did it again. It's officially 12 o'clock.
Well, yeah.
I can't do the code. We talk about this stuff and it's not going to end.
I know.
I love the
Yeah.
bat. You know what I heard the other day, though, that was really cool that I've never heard? Somebody was telling me about a Steph Curry video, right? Who's the best shooter in the entire world? Steph Curry. Talking about shooting the ball through your chin.
Mm.
I never heard that before. Like, that's almost getting the ball to the center of your body a little bit. Like, I always thought you were supposed to get from the shooting pocket to here.
Mhm.
But they're like, yeah, Steph Curry's talking about shooting the ball through your chin. And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard that before. Because when I tell kids to line up for a free throw, I say put your right foot in the middle or your left foot if you're left-handed. That way,
Hmm.
your hand where you're shooting the ball is over top of that. That's in the middle, straight up.
Yep.
But if you're shooting the ball through your chin, so once again, how does that kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know that one either. Shooting it through your chin, I teach it the same way you just said.
Yeah,
I'm shoot it on your right side so that you can see. I feel like if you shoot it in the middle of your
you.
face,
It's like
number
having a
one,
defender put a hand in your face.
yeah, number one, you can't see over the ball, or that if you bring the ball to the middle of your body, your elbow almost kind of automatically comes out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
My elbow comes out when I shoot him out. I cannot physically, like my hand. I want you to look at this. I've got an issue. If I put my hand straight, my elbow straight, that's as far. Like I have to. I got to pull my hand to be straight like that.
uh,
If I put my elbow straight, my hand is immediately cocked. That's natural for my hand to be cocked to the side.
um,
See, it's
yeah, I mean, I feel like mine is like
and that's
tilted
over
this way.
more. But if I take my hand in the middle, my elbow in the middle, and I try to turn my hand, it forces my elbow out. So
Yeah.
when I shoot like this. It's my elbows on this because I can't physically get here without my hand being tilted.
But I don't think that's bad enough. I don't think the elbow that far. I think most people can, yeah, because a lot of guys don't have perfect like 90-degree angle
So
on
that's
their
been always
shot.
been my thing is I've been irritated with my body because I feel like I can never be a good shooter because my elbow won't allow my hand to be where it needs to be. Like my hand immediately cocks to the side, just naturally is over there.
Yeah. I
Like
don't
my
know,
elbow comes in.
maybe your elbow almost doesn't matter at that point. It's just thinking about the middle of your hand. They say the middle of your hand, like from this point to this point, wherever that is
Thumb to
measured.
pinky.
Yeah, like for me, it's like almost exactly like the middle finger. When I've measured before, but like so, some people like I've seen some people say put these two fingers on the seams and shoot it through those. Put these two mostly is what I've mostly heard, but it's really supposed to be like the middle of your hand through the middle of the ball. So if the middle of your hand is on the generally on the middle of the ball, and you're out here or in here, whatever, that almost doesn't like as long as you're not if your elbow's way out here, then you're probably going to push it that way. But
Right.
if it's anywhere in this vicinity,
Okay.
I think it's more your release and
So
what you get. Like you shoot the ball with your whole body, like
yes,
we were talking about with Ichiro. But
it's the
um,
whole thing. Same thing
yeah,
with hitting and everything. Everything's done with you got to use your whole body for everything.
yeah,
So I got a problem with Parker. Let's talk about this real quick.
okay.
Parker,
Grounded. He's grounded
no,
3 weeks.
no. Well, he's grounded 3 weeks all the time because he's a smartass. However, and wants to argue with everything I say. And not just about sports, just in general. Hey, go do this. Why? No, stop. Why are we arguing? We're not arguing about it. I didn't ask you. I told you. Anyway,
If you were only around some of the time, you're too involved in your kids'
I
lives.
I know.
You're too good at that.
I know. I
If you
know.
were a little more
Yeah.
deadbeat, I
Yeah.
think he'd be
Maybe
listening
he'd
to you
listen
more.
to me more. Probably. You're probably right. No, he just wants I'm around too often, so he just argues. Um, so right now when Parker shoots, he's got almost zero rotation on the ball. He's shooting the ball very well right now. We're getting to the end of the season. He's shooting the ball well. When he gets the ball out here and he's got a little gap in here, right?
Mhm.
He'll get even when he shoots it well, the rotation of the ball is like this. Like it doesn't even make a full rotation in the air from three to basket. Not even maybe half a rotation. That's good rotation for him. It's I don't and sometimes it looks I can tell when he's like shot putting it and the ball gets too deep into his palm. I
Mhm.
can see that. But even when he gets the ball out here and when he finishes, he's got the gooseneck or the cookie jar, whatever you want to call it. What do I do to get this kid to have some rotation on the ball? I can't stand it. It annoys the crap out of me. Every time he shoots, I'm like, how in God's name does that even how are you doing that?
Yeah.
And I just tell him that's a terrible shot. He's like, I made it. I don't care if you made it. That's a terrible shot.
Is he is it coming off his fingertips and leaving his fingertips and then he follows through?
dude, you once again, this is where I shoot and the ball spins. I
Yeah.
don't know why it does it. I just that's how I was taught, so that's what it does.
When he shoots free throws, is it better?
I have to watch. He's my second best free throw shooter on my team, but I don't know that it's better.
You can't, you can't. I mean, I like kind of trained myself at one point to try to catch the ball and as I'm going into my shot feel the seams, and I'll make a little adjustment as I'm going to try to shoot with the seams every single time I can. Like you can't always do that in the middle of a game when you have to get your shot off, but shooting on the seams
It's gonna
is
help.
is going to help for sure. I mean, but
Still,
you can only do that so much, especially with younger people.
so that you're gonna get kick out of
That's why
it.
I was asking it because you have the time you can line up with the
I'm
seams every
watching
time.
Parker shoot free throws. Okay,
Yeah.
Parker, we have practice, and he's usually 6, 7, or 8 out of 10 when we do our free throws. He's by far one of our better free throw shooters. And he's not really good at a lot of things, but he can shoot free throws. Okay. Like I'm not sitting here acting like Parker's a stud basketball player on my team. He doesn't, he's not the highest, he's not any of that. I don't want it to sound that way when I talk about this on the podcast.
Mm-mm.
He's one of my better free throw shooters.
Yeah.
I'm watching him shoot free throws at the beginning of this year, and they're going in. And he dribbles. He's got his routine that he does, and it's good timing. Everything's good about it. And I'm watching him, and he doesn't care where the ball is at in his hand. He just the ball's in there and he shoots. The seams are anywhere near on his hand at all. And I'm like, what are you doing? This is the one chance you get to do all your stuff, get the ball in your hand, and put the ball where it should be on your fingertips.
I've noticed that a lot with kids. And
How do you even like? I don't know if anybody ever taught me that. I feel like somebody had to teach you that. Hands on the seams is a football or whatever it is, right? How are you shooting free throws in 6th grade and not know to put your fingertips on the seams? He does now. Like now he shoots his free throws and he does. But it's like, what in God's name? How does that even happen?
I think you can probably find a bunch of guys in the NBA that might not use the seams when they shoot. I've even seen people who will put their finger on the needle hole
Mm.
and shoot that way.
I got a kid on my team that finds it. Hit like he goes to the free throw. It's too much. When you shooting free throws, right? You got a routine. Do spin, do whatever you do. Like Parker is a get it, 1, 2, 3, spin, 1, 2, 3, shoot. That's Parker's. Mine was much more. I'm one of the few people probably to ever get called for a 10-second violation at the free throw
Oh my
line.
God,
Yeah,
did you
happened in
really?
grade school. Yeah, I got called. Andy Wellendorf to this day tells people when somebody takes a long time, he'll tell me he's like, I use you as an example all the time. Like you're the only person I've ever seen get called for a 10-second violation. And I think the referee was just irritated that it was taking me so long. But this kid's dribbling, and then he looks down at the ball and like is like weirdly moving it and like takes his middle finger and like places it there and then like puts the rest of the ball in his hand and like really forcibly. And I'm like, quit that. Stop whatever you're doing there. You're focusing too much on the ball and not enough on the rim.
Yeah.
And I don't know basketball. Maybe it doesn't matter. That's one of the things I try to teach all the kids is look at the rim before you shoot. That's probably something that you should do instead of
Hmm.
staring at the basketball and making sure your fingers on the needle hole.
Hmm.
What is that? That's a real thing though. So you're
Yeah.
telling me that's a real thing.
There are some people that'll do that, I think. I've never done that, but I do try to use the seams as much as I can. So I don't know.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I love watching great shooters, Reggie Miller, guys like that, and every shot seems to come off perfectly.
Yeah.
To catch a ball that's passed to you and mindlessly be able to spin that in your hand as you go for your shot is insane to me. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I know. It's weird because like you can see guys that shoot well, like that and stuff, and it's just like a good shooter in the NBA. It's just like a different, like I don't know, like you can know people in your life that are really good shooters, adults,
Yeah.
but but it's like it looks like a totally different thing when people like
that
in the NBA
are
that can
professionals.
shoot.
Like
Yeah.
baseball's the same way. You get guys turning double plays, catching a ground ball, go to field and throw, and their fingers are on the laces the same way are every single time. And you're like, that's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do that. I get a ball out and go, right? But like the grip, somehow when they grab that ball moves in their hand before they throw it.
Yeah.
Or they feel it as they're reaching in and they spin the ball like they can feel the laces and can move the ball as they're grabbing it. Like I don't know how you that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But it's different, right? Like
Hmm.
that's what you do. You're just your brain is amazing. Your brain's amazing.
It just made me, it's not,
Motor skills are amazing.
yeah, it's not exactly the same thing, but it just made me think of that video that I also love of Ozzie Smith doing the making it look using his glove but making it look like he's catching it with his bare hand. Like
Yeah.
he makes it hit off the heel
Yeah.
and it goes right.
Yeah.
Like he's really just he's catching it with his hand. He's just
Yeah.
barely
Yeah.
like slowing the ball down right
Yeah.
before it I because I'm like, okay, well, I know how he's doing that, so I'm gonna watch closely and it'll slow down for me as I keep watching it. It doesn't slow down for me.
No.
I'm like, I want to be able to pause it where I see it hit his glove. Can't do it.
You know the thing that I use more than anything, the tool that I use as a fielding guy,
The, the flat
the flat
the
glove.
flat glove, yeah.
Because I can't stand watching kids catch a ground ball, close their glove, come up and do all this. I hate it. Or turn in a double play and you come across the base and they reach up with one hand and catch the ball, bring their hand up and transfer. I hate it. So when we turn double plays, the guy fielding the ground ball's got a flat glove. The guy catching the ball at second base has a flat glove. That's how we roll. You guys have to learn how to that you don't need a glove. You don't like the evolution of the glove has has hampered people. It's like the evolution of the car with the stupid backup camera. Nobody, if you get into a car that doesn't have a backup camera, there are people that don't know how to back up a vehicle because they don't have a camera back there. We had to do it for forever
Yeah.
beforehand. You're not going to run into anything if you use all your mirrors correctly.
Mhm.
Use your glove correct. You don't need to close your glove. We toss beforehand, and I won't have a glove, and I'll go into my bag and I'll grab the flat glove and be like, "I'll toss with you. Come on, bop, and I'll toss with the flat glove." So
Mhm.
ball comes in, catch right to the hand and go right. And I love it. How do you go? You got to be able. You have to be able to do this if you want to play infield.
Yeah.
There's zero reason for you to ever close your glove. You don't need to.
Mhm.
You don't need to. Anyway, I
Mhm.
love the Ozzie Smith stuff, dude. That dude's
Yeah, I know.
insane. Insane.
Yeah.
All right, we did too much.
Yeah.
We got way, way, way too into the. This is going to be one of those podcasts for us.
Oh yeah.
This isn't for anyone
Big
else
time.
out there. Nobody
Yeah.
cares at
Matter
all.
of fact, I won't even post it. I'll just send you the video.
Nobody's gonna care at all. Like, oh, they're getting way. Chris started with a story that nobody cares about third grade girls, and they finished it talking about a bunch of weird stuff that nobody understands about. They just started talking, and words came out of their mouth, and it sounded like a chemist talking to a pipe fitter.
You know what though? We probably should have assumed this was going to happen because we were talking about batting stances and it
Yeah,
was going to evolve into something
yeah,
else.
yeah.
But that's okay. I love it.
We should do like the Mount Rushmore of ugly shots in the NBA.
I was thinking about that for yeah,
Yeah.
because I matter of fact, I might
After this,
even
like I might
I
like,
think I
am
might
I
have
up?
wrote that down
I'm up.
already.
I'm up for it, right? Because we're doing Fluffy again, and I chose Fluffy.
Yes.
I'm gonna do it. The
Do it.
Mount Rushmore of awkward jump shots.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we can get into the crazy that your Bill Cartwrights, your Sean Marions, your guys like that.
Does it have to be jump shots? There are some guys that shot free throws a little bit different and it looked really Chuck Hayes. I don't know if you remember him from Kentucky and he played for the Rockets and a couple other teams. His free throw.
I mean, the bear is it Rick Barry, the dad? Who's the
Mhm.
dad? Is it
Yep.
Rick Barry with the
Yep.
underhand free throws? Like, I don't know. I say you do whatever you want. You want to do free throws, do free throws. I'll
Just
probably look
shot.
more just shot.
Yeah.
Just the most NBA got to be an NBA guy. So he's got to be really, really good,
Okay.
but just have a weird shot.
Hmm.
Awkward. What did we say for this? Awkward, weird batting stances.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Unique or whatever. Yeah.
Unique. There you go. Unique jumpers. Unique shot.
Unique shots.
I like that.
Yep.
Now we can get back into your world.
All right.
I love it.
So we got that. We got Gabriel Iglesias and
We've got to talk about. I've got things that I've only watched a half an hour of it, and I got things I want to talk about.
okay. I know exactly what I was watching
You
this
can't
and I was
start.
like,
You can't start your special by saying one thing and then go on for a half an hour saying you're not going to do. Start it saying I'm not going to do this. I'm not this kind of comedian,
yeah.
and then be that comedian for the next half hour. You can't do that.
I was watching this and I was like, Chris and I are gonna be on the exact number probably on this because we're gonna think the same thing about this special. But it does get a
I'm
little
sure
bit
it does.
different.
I'm sure it
It's
does.
I
Yeah.
don't even want to say better or worse. It's a little different in the
I'm gonna
second
go
half.
back now
Mhm.
and I'm gonna write down word for word what he says in the beginning about what he's not gonna do.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna write down each joke that he does. That's exactly what he said he was gonna do.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna refrain from starting on
I
the
know.
things of the yeah,
It could
we'll
get,
save it.
yeah, we'll save it. All right. So awkward jump shots, unique shots,
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore, and Fluffy.
Yep.
And you will have your tournament done by the
Yes.
end of this weekend.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear how the boys do.
Thank you.
The boys of the St. Jude Bulldogs. Are
St.
they
Jude
Bulldogs?
boys.
Are they Bulldogs?
I think boys is their mascot.
What?
St. Jude boys. Yeah. It's weird because the girls teams, that's the mascot. It's the girls. It's the ladies. St. Jude boys.
What? I thought they were Bulldogs. Are
I
you
did-
messing with me?
Yes.
Man,
It's Bulldogs.
you got me on that one. That doesn't happen very often. That doesn't happen very often. I usually catch on, but I'm like, hold up, man. They're the
Oh,
Bulldogs.
speaking of that,
Boys.
there was sorry.
No,
Overtime elite.
I'm laughing at the boys still.
Okay. All right. Last thing I promise. Overtime elite. I'm still even kind of I thought it was part of the G League, but it's maybe something separate. Anyway, this is like big time prospects, that are supposed to eventually be in the NBA. There was I saw a thing, a little post or whatever on something of a game. The name of the teams were the Fear of God Athletics
Oh, let's go.
versus Jelly Fam.
Oh my God.
I know.
That couldn't have
I
been
got
too.
so upset about that one.
That couldn't be
It
two
makes me so
different
mad.
teams. That couldn't be two different teams.
Fear of God Athletics
Versus the Jelly Fam.
versus Jelly Fam.
That's too like I have a visual of what both teams look like. Couldn't be any more opposite. Couldn't be any. I picture 1980s, 1970s shorts,
Yeah.
type uniforms on that same type of player from like I'm gonna say players from the 1940s,
Sure,
right?
sure. When they wore belts.
Yes, that's what I see for the Fear God. And then Jelly Fam looks like everybody looks like Allen
LaMelo
Iverson.
Ball.
They all
Yeah.
look like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
They got 4 wristbands, 3 headbands. They've got shorts down to their knee or ankles and down to their knees is pretty impressive anymore. But
Yeah.
anyway, I love that. That's awesome. That's 2 great names. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. On that note, don't forget to turn your headlights on. Oh, that's funny.